Yo, what's good? Kinetic PE show. I'm your host once again, DJ Potential, also known as Marcus Hart. That's the government name. And we back with another episode. It's about to light your soul up, and we're going to be diving into the story of a Milwaukee queen. Who's here, who's been spitting bars since she was 10 years old, performing at weddings at 12. Maybe we can get her to perform at our wedding. And now she's ready to take music world by storm. And we got the one, the only Cappachino.
Hi.
How's it going? So you're in the house today, the physical house. You're actually our first guest here at the Transform U new studio headquarters.
Okay.
And I think it's just a good thing to have you here to be able to like talk to the people and get to know you better. Your grind, your rise. You've been turning it into a passion for a long time, and it's now more so of a movement. So let's get into it. Tell us who you are in your own words.
I am Cappachino the rapper. I'm the mother. I just graduated barber school yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
And I am also in real estate school. Thank you so much. I would say me as an artist, I'm just fearless. And I try to make music based off of how I feel. So one day you might get a twerk song. One day you might get a love song. One day I think I could beat up the whole world. So it's just really about what I'm feeling in that moment. I try to be very versatile.
Okay. So like with that said, like do you ever like kind of tilt towards the trends, or you try to stay as original or as true to what you feeling at the time?
I try to stay away from rap music. I know that sounds like crazy, but for me, I try not to listen to rap music that much because then it starts to like kind of clog like how I would normally make music.
Yeah.
And then it's like I feel like that's how you get writer block as well, because when you're writing, you think about how somebody else would do it. But if you like mostly listen to R&B music or gospel music like me, you always have like a clear mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's big facts. A lot of times people joke with me because I listen to a lot of old school music. Sometimes I might dabble into country, or I dabble into some Christian music, and like it feels better for the soul, when you
100%.
can uh just stay true to who you are, and that's how you find and identify who you are. Did it take you a while, since you've been doing this for so long?
I'd like to like find who I am.
Yeah.
I would say no. I feel like I've always known, but like my mother is super religious.
Yeah.
So we couldn't curse. We couldn't talk shaking butt. Why are you shaking your butt? Like she was very confused. But I knew like when I move out of here, I'm gonna be who I really want to be. And I feel like now like I don't ever do stuff around her. But like even if she hears my music, I'd be like, okay, disclaimer, there are cuss words.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, okay, I'm not ready today. So it's just having that open communication made it easier.
Okay. Do you think you ever make something positive for her? They'll like throw some inspiration out for her. So,
She
something,
always asks me that, why you never
know.
make a song about how much you love your mom? Uh, um, I have a gospel song. I have different stuff, but she just wants it to be dedicated solely to her.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe one day, but I'm just not there yet.
I hear you. I hear you. So Milwaukee. Want to know like how it is to grow up in Milwaukee. I grew up in Milwaukee. I got my stories. I'm sure you got your stories. You might be slightly younger than me, so like I know different generations, different times. It's craziness, but it's also love, just because it's where it's home. So like how did that like kind of influence who you are as an artist and like just as a person?
I was born in Libertyville, Illinois. I was raised in Racine. Actually, like recently moved out here to co-parent.
Okay.
You know, some people really love it, and I'm not the biggest fan. I didn't know you had to pay to park on the street. Why am I paying for overnight park pass when there's no meter? You don't got to do that at Racine. You just park.
Yeah.
So my car kept getting towed. I couldn't figure out why the car kept getting taken. That's annoying. Or like the Kia boys are real bad. I got a Kia. My Kia's name is Keontae. It's real bad. And then it's like, sometimes I like to people watch. And so like, sometimes I'll stare, I'll be like, in my head, I'll be like, she's so pretty. And then girls be like, why are you looking at me? Like, oh my God, you were pretty. My bad.
Yeah.
So it's more intense.
Yeah.
Like I said, you gotta always be on edge. And I hate that.
Right. Yeah, and Libertyville is a pretty small town, like in northern Chicago area. I got a car from here once. Yeah. So to come to like Milwaukee, which is bigger, and I'm pretty sure it's a culture shock for you, dealing with that. Like Has any of your experiences in Milwaukee ever like kind of um, somehow like found its way to your music?
Yeah. So I got this one song. It's called "What You Gonna Do."
Hmm.
It's about pistol whipping. And at the time when I did indulge in the weed smoking, I was smoking in my car, and this man came knocking on my window. And I rolled the window down like this much, and he was like, "I need drugs. I need drugs." I was like, "I ain't got no drugs." He walks away, comes back, banging on my window. "I need drugs." I was like, "Sir, I don't have drugs." And he just kept trying to like open up my door. So I opened up my own door and I said, "Back up or I'll pistol whip you." Didn't even have a gun. I
but
said it with my
but you
chest.
said it like
Felt it.
said it like you
The
mean
pistol whip,
it.
yeah. And he like left me alone and everything. But it was like, oh my gosh, the things. It's so many crackheads.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. Oh my God,
it's really a city. It's so
yeah,
different out here.
it is. Speaking of like drugs, like I love how you say that music is your drug and both your outlet. That really shows what kind of heart you are as a star in the making. And you already mentioned that like you find a way to put your emotions into your songs, but have you ever just like use your music just for your own therapeutic purposes? Like there's songs that you haven't put out yet.
100%. I would say that was my gospel song. It was called "Thank You." And I was just, I don't know, I was just staring on the edge of my bed, and then I just kind of just started like venting, and then I was like, "Hold up, let's put a beat behind this." And then like that's how like my gospel song came about. It just really my letter to God. I feel like a lot of times when we do talk to God, we use him like a genie.
Hmm.
But in that moment, I just wanted to thank him for loving me in the days that I couldn't love
Yeah.
myself. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Amen to that. I think music is like one of the best ways to get guys' ears and really like, communicate what it is that your spirit wants to say. A lot of times, like, we get down on our knees and, we just going through the motions. We're not even really like, thinking about it. But when you intentional about it is definitely different. And it shows that like, you really still have that closeness to God, and that's really appreciated out here. Not too many people doing that, especially young people. So, you were out here performing at weddings by 12. That's wild. So walk us through what it was like to be young and commanding the stage at that age.
Shout out to my mama. I don't know what my mama was on. She was like insistent on being my manager.
Yeah.
It would be a school night. She'd wake me up in the middle of the night, hand me some air freshener, and be like, "Go practice in the living room." That was my microphone. And so, like, then she just started one day announcing I was a wedding rapper. I didn't know I was rapping at weddings, but when my mama said it, I guess it's the truth. She's kind of told everybody, like, "Oh, get my daughter, get my daughter." So, like, I would interview the bride and the groom, and then I make them their own wedding song. And then,
Nice.
like, they would, like, dance at it and stuff. It was amazing. Like even going down to when I was little, saying my ABCs. I was never taught to say A B. I was A B C D E F G. I always like so when I heard people saying it slow, I couldn't comprehend. Like, why are you saying it so slow? Like my dad is a beatboxer, and my mom used to be a
Okay.
choir director. So I feel
What
like
a combination.
yeah, yeah, I don't even know how they got together, but
Yeah.
I feel like with that being on both sides of my family, I had no choice. I was never forced into it, but it was within me kind of thing.
You got a lot of good top like artists that are your music influences. Like you got Prince, you got her, Chris Brown. Shout out to Chris Brown. I love Chris Brown. Those are your big three. And that's a bit of a like powerful lineup for you. So how do these legends tend to show up in your music or your performance? Rather you writing, what's a specific thing that you borrowed from Prince, her, and Chris Brown?
Well, shout out Prince. Prince is my birthday twin.
Really?
June 7th, birthday twins. And I just like that Prince was always able to be himself. If he wanted to wear, someone showing his chest that was see through, he could do an eyeliner. He was confidently him. And then he was a true Gemini. And I love that. That made me like, okay, this man can be whoever he want to be. We got straight men, gay men. Everybody loves Prince. I think with her, every song she makes is a hit.
Yeah.
And it just sounds perfect. And I to this day I'll play her playlist on repeat, and she sings with her soul in everything that she does, and she could play every instrument. That's cool. Chris Brown, love Chris Brown. He's an overall entertainer. Like, he still dances. His mic is always on. He has an amazing stamina. I'm so happy he got his first Grammy for Residuals. I knew that song was a hit, called it. And like, I just really feel like those three people, you could feel it in their words and their performances. They genuinely love what they do, and I want to be like that.
I love that. So, like, when we talk about Chris Brown, a debate recently came up of like, is he the Michael Jackson of our time? What is your opinion on
He's the Chris Brown, period. I think Michael Jackson's his own lane. Like, he's the only person who could, and everybody was like, oh, okay. If somebody started moaning out, they'd be like, what are you doing? But I feel like Chris Brown they're both legends, but they're two totally different types of people.
I like that. I like that. So that's what I'm talking about. You've been taking these influences and you've been making them your own, and now I want to get into your grind a little more. You've been killing it. And especially in the open mics and talent showcases across Milwaukee, across Chicago area, Indiana. You've been to Cali and ATL. You even won $1,000 in ATL. Speaking of
Yes.
ATL, and you took third in California, holding your own against a much older, much more experienced artist, and that straight up like boosts energy. So, maybe tell us about like the ATL win. Take us back a little bit, and what was it like to step on that stage, compete, and walk away with money?
It was my first competition,
Mhm.
and I was just talking shit. I was like, I was always taught, if you say everything with confidence, the world will believe you. So that's actually how I met my child's father. I randomly messaged him. We never hung out or anything. I was like, you want to come to Atlanta and watch me win a rap competition? And he was just like, yeah, of course. I was surprised he even said, yeah, we barely knew each other. And like, he went with me. I didn't know I was going to win.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was the only girl competing too. It was 38 men, and it's just me. So like, it, I got this little soft voice. I got this baby face, and I'm rapping, like I said, about pistol whipping somebody, about I could beat everybody up in the room.
Mhm.
So it definitely, it definitely made a difference. And like, to actually win, and to know I really went from practicing in the mirror and rehearsing all day in the car,
Yeah.
and it actually like paid off. It was great. I needed that. It was my boost. And, I actually lost a friend on that trip. Like, they didn't die, but they didn't want to be my friend no more after I won.
Yeah, that's tough.
Now that so-called friend hits me up now, we ain't got nothing to talk about. If you couldn't celebrate me when I was succeeding, why are you trying to be here now?
Exactly.
So it's nice. I would love to get back to doing it, honestly
Yeah.
speaking.
Man, that's a whole other lane in itself. To be able to compete, it pushes something out of you that you didn't think you had. That's where your true grit come into place, and you gotta be confident.
100%.
Uh, and to be able to do that, that speaks to like the level of confidence you have. What was the vibe like in Atlanta when you won during that time, and how did that moment kind of shape you on this trajectory now that you're
I would say that vibe. No, I was just watching the video the other day. It was unreal. Light skinned Keisha was there. They had just announced my name. I had on this highlighter yellow dress that I could not move in because I was first going to see some body parts. And I remember looking at light skinned Keisha. I was like, light skinned Keisha. She said, yeah, girl. I said, you going to see me again. She said, oh, I know, I know. And like, that right there, it was just amazing. And to have everybody come up and just support me, it was literally unbelievable, because I feel like in my city and like my town, I don't get a lot of love because I don't make normal Milwaukee music. I don't make normal stuff. So to go to different states and they love me and they just eat me up with no problem, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah, that whole town thing is really a thing, where, people just they take, they talented artists for granted, and they're right there in their hometown until they blow up and then they want to claim it.
100%.
When you got millions, it's easy to say you love somebody versus, riding with them on the path. A lot of Milwaukee artists go through that. But these trendy ones, like, I call it microwave TikTok music. Yeah, they're gonna be here for a time. But someone with substance like like you got music for the ages, and was listening to one track, and and I could tell, that like you don't want to keep an eye out on. So when it comes like, and I want to go back to something. Thinking back on it, do you feel like your baby daddy was a good luck charm?
I wouldn't call him that now. We're it's crazy because like
That's why I'm like,
we're best friends. I could not stand him when we were together. But now that's my bestie. I call him about everything. I call him to take
yeah,
my trash out. At the time, yes, he was taking out loans so I could chase my dreams.
right.
He was booking flights and taking me on trips I never had to pay for so he could put me in rooms I never thought I could be in. And I am forever grateful for that.
Hey, no wonder why y'all got a good friendship. Like now, that's dope. That's really dope. And it's good to like hear a woman saying like, "Oh, I get along with my baby daddy.
Best
I'm
friend.
co-parenting." You
Yeah.
came in right away saying, "I co-parent." That's just not the typical language you hear nowadays. It's like, "Oh, f that nigga, f that nigga."
I genuinely he's done a lot. I think he's a
Yeah.
terrible partner, but he is a great best friend. Like I send him money for his haircuts. I'll send him money for food. Like I'll buy him stuff as a co-parent just to show him like I appreciate the father that you are. Because a lot of people have the choice to be there and they don't take it. And
Right.
not only are you here, you're an amazing dad. And I'm very grateful that my child gets to experience that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that gives you time to be freed up too to be able to like work on your
Oh,
craft at
I
the
would
same
not have
time.
gotten through barber school if it wasn't for
Yeah,
him.
nice,
100%.
nice, nice. So like, you got a vision, that I'm kind of excited about is, with for this EP and campaign, and you even have this thought about putting Milwaukee on the map, and inspire the next generation of artists. So how exactly are you planning that? What is your big plan for the EP for the summer of 2025, and how do you think it's going to make an impact in Milwaukee's music scene?
Well, I would like my EP name to be Fuck the Family.
Okay.
When I wrote this, I was very mad at my child's father, but we cool
Okay.
now. But it's just in my music, because like I said, my voice is so high, but like in my music, you don't expect to hear certain things that you're going to
Yeah.
hear. So it's a letter to my child's father. It's a letter to this guy I'm dating. It's a letter to my child.
Yeah.
And I just want you to be able to hear like me giving my daughter advice, me calling my baby daddy out, and like me trying to love again. And it's just, but they all hit really hard. So that's like the vision for that. And I feel like Milwaukee artists, I don't like saying that because they're gonna get mad at me. Like, I feel like a lot of the time they don't care about talent; they just care about the
Yeah.
beat. Can you shake your ass to it? That's all they care about. But I want to make music for people that you driving one day, you just want to play something that you could feel, or you taking a shower, you just laying in bed. I don't want you to feel like you always have to dance. If you do, cool. But I want to bring back the feeling of feeling.
Right.
That's what I really want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that music does, like, numb you away from, like, being able to feel, it takes you away from, like, the real problems people are experiencing, and, that's what I appreciate about this EP that you got coming up, that, like, you really are taking people through the journey of stuff that they actually feel, and, that's important, and, we live in a world now where, people just don't wanna feel mental health is at an all-time high. It's crazy. It's an epidemic out here, and you know who you are, so, like, I I think I wanna say I'm the same way when it comes to making music because, I try for the life of me to try to make something that people can dance to, and I'm like, "Yeah, this ain't even me."
Mm.
So I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, exactly. What kind of feedback you getting, from like some of the people out there who follow you or have listened to your music?
So when I was in barber class and stuff, I had my Beats headphones and I put my headphones on everybody's head. And one of my teachers didn't even believe it was me. I was just like, "Hey, you want to hear a song I made?" She was like, "You don't make music." I was like, "Nah, like I do." Put it in her head. She took the headphones off. That's not you. I was like, "No, for real. Like, listen." She told me to drop out. She's like, "You need to drop out of school, go chase this dream, get it." She's like, "We got to figure out how to get you signed. We got to get you this money." Like my teacher,
Yeah,
for my teacher to tell me to drop out, I never heard nothing like it, but it was just it was very nice. And, you know, they stopped calling me by my actual name. And I was like, "Oh, what's up, Cappachino? Hey, Cappachino." Once they found out I make music and stuff.
yeah,
And everybody's like, "Okay, when you do music videos, I want to get in it." Stuff like
yeah.
that. It's been cool. I really, really like it.
Nice, nice. That's good. It's good to have that support and get that validation from your work and your artistry. So like when it comes to like getting signed, how do you feel about being signed versus like staying independent?
I really want to be mainstream, but I know getting signed can open up a lot of doors.
Yeah,
I don't fear getting signed. I just want to work with somebody that wants to work with me, not
yeah,
change me. because I don't really need to be altered. Don't get me wrong, there's some things I need to fix. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect, but I think to change me as a whole artist, I can't have that.
Right.
I can't. And I like what GMC did with Glorilla.
Mhm.
Like they did not try to change her. They said we're gonna enhance you, and that's something I want for myself.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. You do see now like people commanding their brand a little bit more. They got a little bit more involvement and in the direction of their career. The way these deals are structured now, like versus the way they used to be back in the day, where you literally was selling your soul, selling your soul and your music and your talent. Yeah, so yeah, it's a different climate now, and I can see how you can step into a deal like that and still control who you are and just be in the hands. So we got to continue to support you. So your Instagram is at Cappachino Music, right?
My Instagram is icon_Cappachino.
Icon_Cappachino. Make sure you guys follow that. Follow it right now. And a lot of your tracks. Where can we find them?
Okay, so hear me out. Right now, I am just a SoundCloud rapper. I was on all platforms, but I did strip down my music to kind of rebrand myself. So right now it's just SoundCloud.
Oh, so we won't find none of those stuff?
Yeah. Okay, this is one song called Beast Mode that I made for my mama when I was 10, and I keep it up there for her because she's like, this is something I can hear.
So with this next EP, are you gonna be pushing it like on other platforms?
100%. I want it everywhere, all platforms, everything. I need to be heard. I want people to just be able, I just want people to really be able to be themselves.
Yeah.
Like I have some twerk songs, I have some this song, some that song, and I want people to be like, if I need an artist I can go to for everything, this is the one.
Yeah, whatever the flavor of the day is. So like when it comes to advice, people out here they need the advice for chasing their own dreams, for grinding and when they're struggling to break through. What advice do you got for them?
Everything you do, do it with your whole body. Say everything with your chest because, the more you say it with confidence, the more that they will believe you. And just because you are the loudest in the room does not mean you are the strongest. It's okay to sit back, be quiet, listen. Take constructive criticism. And if somebody's saying something bad about your music makes you want to stop, don't do it. Don't do the music. Because you could think it's top tier, you could win awards for it. If they hate it, they hate it. As long as you believe in it, it can really be something.
I love that. Love that. That's great. That's great. So Cappachino, you have wowed me today, and I'm sure those who are watching or listening will feel the same way. You dropped some serious gems today, and I really appreciate it. And I thank you for bringing that fire to Kinetic Mix Show. So, is there any like thing else you want to put out there for the audience, or like things you got coming up, or that we should be aware of?
Yes, so my EP will be dropping soon. The date is to be determined. I'll make sure you get the information. Okay. I would say just stay on the look for me. Don't count me out. At least not yet. Don't count me out.
Okay. Excellent. I love the energy. So, family, if you like this episode, do us a favor, hit us up, with a subscribe button, hit that comment section, tell us what the favorite part of this episode was for you. Make sure you follow our guest today, Cappachino, on Instagram or SoundCloud too. And look out for that EP that's coming out, that's going to be dropping very, very soon. And when she let me know, I'm going to make sure you guys know as well. And don't forget one more thing that I want to put out there is that, if you haven't already, share this episode recording with someone that can use the information, someone that you want to just share this wonderful artist with. And do you have a website?
I do not.
Okay, no website yet? Sure. All right. So I just want to make sure I covered all bases. So once again, this is Marcus R, aka DJ Potential, reminding you to keep your energy kinetic, your passion electric, and your dreams in full effect. Until next time, stay informed. Many blessings, peace, and lots of love. We're out.
That was a cute little exit.
Transform You Radio. You are now tuned in to Transform You Radio. You hear me? Check. I stand for what you stand for. I'm at your door like the landlord. I can see the future, yeah, I fast forward. I get on the mic and I transform. Follow me, I'm in rare form. Follow me on this world tour. The asteroid that you can't avoid. Small changes make impact. I ran for it, I stand for it, I'm not sitting back. You can leave leave the rat race so you can leave the trap. Come with me, let's rap. Take a trip and we pack, and we'll be right back. Yeah, come with me, let's rap. Take a trip and we back, and we'll be right back. Yeah, I stand for what you stand for. Hey, I get on the mic and I transform. Follow me on this world tour. The asteroid that you can't avoid.
Follow me.